Hi, my name is Peter Theodoratos. I'm one of the officers of Local 458 of the GCC IBT, representing the printers in the Chicago and Indiana areas. I'm here to talk about the benefits of the union, what the union has done for me. I've been a member since 1985. I served an apprenticeship as a feeder, an apprenticeship as a pressman. I worked for one of the larger food label manufacturers in the Midwest. The union has been excellent. I was in a family, have a house. Things are just going fantastic. In my little life, the union has done so much. What we do in our union is we support our members and our retirees. Our local was formed in 1915. It's 2018. We're one of the longer surviving locals, and we have a lot to offer for any members that want to come in. We have an excellent pension, benefit plans. Being part of our union, you have wage increases, health coverage, job security, promotions, vacations, holidays, pension benefits, seniority rights, leave, grievance procedures, overtime pay, and equipment and uniform allowances.
My name's Frank Maida. I'm 37 years old. I work for one of the largest newspapers in North America. I've been a part of GCC IBT Local 458M for 8 years. I've been an officer for that whole time. I'm the shop steward at the newspaper for the last 5 years. We were administratively transferred into Local 458M from Local 7N 8 years ago. I'm raising 2 boys right now, ages 6 and 4. Being part of the union has helped me tremendously to complete that feat. I have more time with them. I can take them to baseball games. I could watch them play baseball. I have my 4-year-old in soccer. Things are a little easier. My wife hasn't worked for the last 6 years. I've been a union member for 20 years. I started off like Pete in the commercial end of the business, and then I moved my way over to the newspaper end.
Hi, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Weingarten rights. Your rights in an investigatory interview. Under the Supreme Court's decision, the Weingarten decision, when an investigatory interview occurs, the following rules apply. The employee must make clear requests for union representation before and during the interview. The employee cannot be punished for making this request. After the employee makes a request, the employer must choose from the among 3 options. The employer must either grant the request and delay the questioning until the union representative arrives, has a chance to consult privately with the employer, deny any of the requests of the interview immediately, or give the employer a choice of 1, having an interview without representation, or ending the interview. We strongly suggest you have representation. We are here to help you. We know how to handle these things. We have the experience, the attorneys. We will help you in any situation. If the employer denies the request for union representation and continues to ask questions and comments on unfair labor practices, and the employee has a right to refuse to answer, the employer may not discipline the employee for such refusal. Employees have Weingarten rights only during investigatory interviews. An investigatory interview occurs when a supervisor questions the employee to obtain information which is used on the basis for discipline, or asks an employee to define his or her conduct. If an employee has a reasonable belief that the discipline or other adverse consequences may result from what he or she says, the employee has the right to request union representation. That is why the union is here. We are here to represent you. And you should never, ever, ever talk to anybody without some kind of representation.
Right here, like I have an example. We had one of the employees at work. He was brought into the office. Some things were said. They told him, and you know, you really don't need representation. But he really did. And he knew about his wine garden rights, and we have cards that we pass out to the members. And he pulled out the card. I mean, you're not really going to remember everything that's here, word for word. So he pulled out the card, he gave it to the product supervisor, and next thing you know, he called me into the office. Now, the member was going to be suspended for 2 days without pay. I addressed the issue, showed them where they were wrong. Next thing I know, the employee was let back out on the floor and worked the rest of his shift. There was no suspension, no disciplinary action. But if there was nobody there that knew what to say, what to do, how the situation was going to go, he would have been in trouble. He probably would have went along with it, and he would have got sent home. In turn, the manager was actually in the wrong. What he did, what he said, was totally unfair, and it fell under a ULP charge. But since the company didn't want to go that route, they basically swept it under the rug, which is fine.
That is why it's important to join a union and have union representation. Not only for your protection at work, for protection like insurance. The skyrocketing cost of insurance is eating at everybody's pocket. We have a decent insurance policy. The more members that join with us in this insurance policy, we can ask for lower and lower and better coverages. The thing about being a union is everybody's sticking together. That's what makes a union strong. You're going to get out of the union what you put into the union. Thanks.
So this is the reason why I love being a union member. My little boy right here. Right, say hi. Say my daddy's a Teamster. No.
I like to say this is Pete Theodoratos and Frank Maida, two union guys trying to do the right thing. All you other union members jump on board with us. Imagine what we can accomplish.
Be unstoppable.